My stepmother, chuckled, remarked, sister offspring merit voyage. Not your youngsters, although I financed entirety. I grinned, nullified, all disregarded their frantic pleas. Subsequent day, they implored me rectify situation. I was midway tidying after supper when my cellular phone vibrated countertop. Father, I gaze display. Contemplating last instance, I responded as ring. It concluded with me revoking entire ocean liner journey, an igniting explosive within our supposed kin. Since then, atmosphere been strained. Which was acceptable me, I permitted telephone chime. Moment later, another vibration. Father, Lisa. We must converse, telephone me. I exhaled, toss cloth countertop. Here we commence. I ventured outside patio. Inhaled, deeply pressed dial. Father answered instantly. Lisa, he uttered. Voice strained, father. My intonation, monotonous pause ensued. Then cautiously, excessively cautiously, he stated, I require you withdraw legal action. I smirked, directly, crux matter. Ill acknowledge your directness. This isn't amusing, Lisa. He retorted, Rosa lacks funds. I reclined, railing, gazing, cityscape illumination. Then she shouldn't have expended it. You're being illogical. I emitted brief chuckle in being illogical. That's humorous, because I recollect distinct dialogue weeks prior. One where Rosa determined my children didn't merit journey I funded, and substituted them with Emilis. Father sighed, deeply, Lisa. You must comprehend now. I couldn't, you must comprehend. She selected, now she confronts repercussions. She cannot reimburse, not my concern. Father exhaled sharply as if maintaining composure. Lisa, this is kindred. I chuckled, kindred humorous. I don't recall you uttering that when Rosa mortified my children, when she declared directly Emilis' offspring were more worthy, because mine were unruly, undisciplined. More silence. I clenched jaw, my digits digging into railing. Do you comprehend how much I anticipated that journey, father? My tone plunged sharply with rage. It wasn't solely for children. It was for myself, since I receive no holidays. I get no breaks, I manage my eateries. I labor 14-hour shifts, I scrub tile. I scour plates, I face danger. I lack luxury, pretending wealth materializes magically. As Rosa does, he remains speechless. However, I wasn't finished. My offspring haven't had holiday for ages. Ages and single occasion, I arranged event for them. Event, extraordinary event they were thrilled about. Your spouse determines they are unworthy of it. I released bitter chuckle, and you simply remained seated, allowed it occur. Father finally uttered, Lisa. You are exaggerating. My grasp intensified. No, I'm not. You understand what Rosa told to me. That I was humiliating. That genuine entrepreneur doesn't mop floors or accept requests at counter. That I was portraying Cinderella within my establishments, behaving like domestic instead of proprietor. Silence. I breathed out forcefully, nodding negatively, and now abruptly, you both require my funds currently. Am not simply housekeeper in your contingency reserve. That's not what is, he mumbled. No, isnapat. Then what is she can't repay? He confessed, not concern of mine. Father exhaled intensely, Lisa. Is family, I emitted gradual. Frigid chuckle, family humorous. I don't recall you stating that. When Rosa determined my offspring weren't adequate for voyage. Further silence, then when remorse didn't function. He altered strategies, you possess portion of enterprise. He stated resolutely, you profit from it. Those funds will originate from households, capital regardless. So why utilize legal proceedings? Simply address it, and we can conclude matter. I blinked, he genuinely uttered it. He possessed audacity to instruct me to finance my own downfall. I grinned, icily, allow me to clarify. You desire me to fund journey I designed that Rosa sabotaged, that I aborted since she didn't desire my children present. Father's tone intensified, Lisa. Don't distoho. I believe I'm perceiving events quite distinctly. You're behaving childishly, and you're behaving cowardly. That silenced him. I inhaled gradually, my grasp strengthening upon banister. I labor 14-hour shifts, cleanse floors. I manage payroll, oversee vendors. I operate my enterprise concurrently. Rosa expends funds like jackpot victor, and presently I'm expected rectify mess. You wouldn't possess these establishments without my assistance. He retorted, I stunned. Their genuine reality unveiled. It hadn't concerned Rosa. It wasn't regarding finances. It involved dominance. Father believed I indebted him. I released gradual frigid chuckle. Astonishing, you genuinely accept that notion. You're my offspring. He stated, his tone terse, abrupt. You don't abandon your kin perish. Negative father. You don't allow your relatives flounder. In conjecture, I hesitated. That's precisely your action towards. His respiration labored. Lisa. Don't pursue. You implied, don't confront repercussions your decisions. Hush. Subsequently, softly. Resentfully, he uttered. You'll lament. I exhaled. My heart pulsating, yet my tone firm. Negative father. I grinned. Perhaps initially I want. And I terminated call. I scarcely place phone. Prior messages arriving. Emily respond telephone. You're exacerbating stepmother. You're displaying egotism, callousness. We constitute kin. Lisa. Father, contemplate your actions. I smirked, flinging phone on a sofa. They were frantic. Excellent. Once I wasn't striving rectify. For single instance. They endured repercussions, their choices, and initially years. I sensed liberated subsequent maneuver. I understood they wouldn't relinquish. Father would endeavor. Rosa would plead. Wail, weep. Emily would label egotistical. Yet they weren't prepared, transformed. Individual, finally mastered declining. I retrieved my cellular device. Launched banking application, performed long overdue action. I divided my financial holdings. Extracted enterprise capital from joint familial investments. Severed connections, left them flounder independently. Instant I pressed confirmation, telephone vibrated anew. Incoming communication, father. I gazed, then slow, deliberate. Content grin, I permitted a chime. I wasn't meant to be present. That's what my stepmother frequently stated. This isn't genuine entrepreneurs conduct. She scoffed each time she observed me serving. You should be formulating strategies. Not preparing food like low-wage employee. I disregarded her previously, like I dismissed her Cinderella remarks, for cleaning my establishment's floors. Frankly, James. She exhaled towards father during supper, angling wine glass precisely. It's humiliating. True proprietors don't clean. They don't operate checkout counters. Father barely glanced from his meal. Lisa enjoys involvement as if negative trait. ID outgrow as though. It wasn't myself. Sustaining enterprise while they squandered funds. Like Limitless, I mastered operations thoroughly. At 14, father gave me cleaning tool, instructed work. I cleaned floors, processed requests. Oversaw stock by age 20. I wasn't merely employed within establishments. I was managing them. I oversaw compensation scheduling. Supplier agreements. I observed financial flow, where it was being misused. And I witnessed Rosa's actions. She persuaded father she possessed financial acumen, that her ventures would amplify familial holdings. Opulent parlors, upscale shops. Even unsuccessful cosmetic endeavor. None generated revenue. None endured beyond year. Yet she persisted spending. When I highlighted it, father dismissed me. Rosa understands her actions. He stated, cease fretting over irrelevant matters. Didn't concern me, absolutely did. Because each time Rosa's ventures faltered, she utilized our resources, remedy them. Capital from eateries. Funds I assisted procuring, I understood, remaining paternal dominion. ID lack influence. Thus, I persuaded him relinquish several establishments. Mere few dining places beyond Rosa's grasp. I expressed desire autonomy. That I yearned validate capabilities. He consented not due faith in me, but because he presumed ID falter return groveling. He misjudged me while Rosa squandered finances. I was augmenting mine. I operated establishments personally, productive, streamlined. Concentrated on excellence, I labored beside staff, regarded them as individuals, not figures. Reciprocally, they aided construct something enduring, something inviolable. Rosa despised it. You resemble one of them. She sneered once witnessing me cleaning floor post shift. Nobody esteems entrepreneur, acting servant. Emily chuckled. You know whom she evokes. That Disney film with its title. She snapped fingers precisely. Cinderella. That appellation stuck thereafter. Not endearingly, not jest. Continuous scathing slur, unfortunate Lisa Grime covered. Pitiful Lisa, still waitressing her establishments. Father never protected me, never silenced them. Yet when chaos erupted, when Rosa depleted family resources, when they required rescue, abruptly I was adequate. Unexpectedly, I was valuable. I pondered this, staring at Father's final communication. Father, contemplate actions. Persisting this, you'll dismantle our kinship. I shut eyes, exhaling gradually. Our familial bonds severed long ago. They remained oblivious. I toiled relentlessly, demonstrating value, exhibiting I merited inclusion. Reality they never granted. Thus I ceased, anticipating I perused salary documents. When establishment director barged into workspace, visage flushed with exasperation. This displeases you. She exhaled, folding her arms. Suited individual entered. Claims he's conducting organizational inspection. I scowled, placing laptop down. Organizational, his words. Alleges he's present, ensure adherence franchise guidelines. I reclined seat. Exhaling gradually, that's their tactic. Eateries belonged me, yet operated under paternal trademark. When I persuaded him transfer ownership, I believed I secured autonomy. What I hadn't completely considered was appellation still his. Now he employed at weapon. Where's his location, I inquired. Present reception area, harassing personnel. I straightened, jacket exited, anticipating upcoming conflict. Gentleman, impeccably attired suit near counters. Examining clipboard, exaggerated significance. He scarcely glanced upwards my approach. May I assist you, I inquired calmly. He afforded glance. Are you proprietor? I am affirmative. Am representing headquarters. He stated, as if that held meaning. Standard examination require access fiscal documents. Logistics information staff evaluation records. I smiled. Tensely, you mean private financial data. Those headquarters lacks legal entitlement view. He faltered as franchise operator. You're obligated to adhere trademark criteria. We're merely confirming you're confirming nothing. I interjected. This isn't financial inspection. This is charade. He adjusted posture, evidently not anticipating defiance. If procedures compliant, you shouldn't object. Collaboration. I advanced, lowering tone. Let's cease pretense. You dispatch paternal orders, we both aware. Therefore allow me conserve time. Documentation organized, vendors vetted. Every health safety guideline satisfied. Nothing discover. His mouth tightened, thin expression. Declining examination may yield repercussions. I emitted brief chuckle. Menacing entrepreneur without justification may also yield repercussions. Desire legal counsel's contact. Silence, then following uncomfortable interval. He mumbled, ill report matter headquarters. Proceed. I observe him pivot, depart. Burden disappointment weighed heavily shoulders. Instant he exited doorway. Supervisor softly whistled. You dismissed him. I exhaled, release stress. This merely initial strike. Since I understood Rosa and understood Father, they weren't finished, they were commencing the assault. Following morning, it was evident they were intensifying. Flurry negative critiques impacted establishments overnight. Fabricated grievances regarding sanitation. Impolite personnel, even allegations foodborne illness. Regional culinary journalist I knew connected Rosa, abruptly published harsh piece concerning how venues declined quality. Subsequently came warnings. Formal communication headquarters appeared, detailing possible violation franchise contract, owing inability collaborate compliance inspection. I perused document twice, then departed. Oh, they're genuinely attempting. I mumbled, throwing upon my work surface. They desired frighten me into withdrawing. They desire me plead. I grabbed telephone, contacted attorney. It's moment, I declared. Merely moment for precisely. To remind them, I don't require their brand succeed. Rosa consistently believed herself invulnerable, that she could expend whatever desired, control whomever desired, and nobody would ever halt her. She believed Father would perpetually protect her, that I would perpetually yield. However, currently she erred, and it became apparent instant she received summons. Lawsuit requesting restitution, $12,000 misappropriated. Response was instantaneous. Initially frantic communications. Subsequently, enraged messages. Are you genuinely litigating over trifle? This is mortifying, Lisa. You're shaming kin. Rectify immediately. I disregarded every communication. Subsequently came Emily perpetually attempting mediate. Mother is frantic. Father is enraged. Are you truly pursuing Lisa? Cease, it's 12,000. You're exaggerating. That elicited laughter. $12,000, insignificant sum. According to them, however, if it was inconsequential, why couldn't Rosa repay? Since nothing remained, zero balance. She exhausted everything shortly. Entire globe would discover how dire situation truly became. Courtroom confrontation wasn't theatrical. It wasn't even protracted. Rosa came father beside, appearing composed always. Flawless coiffure, pricey adornments. Couture purse. Lady desired appearing affluent even while financially struggling. Her counsel contended funds weren't misappropriated. They'd been reallocated household affair. My advocate countered single inquiry. Whether it involved domestic issue. Why was Lisa uninformed? Hush magistrate decided my behalf. Rosa possessed 30 days repay, face further repercussions. Straightforward, uncomplicated. Destructive because currently gossip circulating. Eatery personnel murmured. Financiers posed inquiries. Prosperity facade. Rosa maintained years. Crumbled open public view. Subsequently arrived ultimate strike. 48 hours post-trial. My cellular buzzed. Father almost didn't respond. Intuition suggested otherwise. Instantly upon answering, heard distress. Lisa. His tone strained, required dialogue. Remained silent, exhaled nervously. Concerning finances, grinned. Conjecture. Rosa lacks funds. Quiet prolonged. Weighty pause, then barely audible whisper. Capital vanished, straightened. Pardon me. Father's tone empty. Every penny completely depleted. Slow smug smile crept across face, because at last, ultimately comprehension dawned upon him. Explained. Father inquired. When did awareness strike? She destroyed everything. He didn't reply. Further probe, deeper wound. Upon reviewing statements, noticing overdraft charges. Queried. When did debt collectors begin contacting? Or did realization hit that paltry $12,000 constituted your remaining assets? His respiration erratic. Lisa, I implore. Negative, interrupted him. Dondiza. Beseech me. Your decision was her. You permitted her dominate everything. You allowed her destroy everything. He gasped. I ignorant how remedy this. That's not my concern, I stated coldly. A prolonged silence lingered between us, and ultimately his voice faltered. She's departing. I blinked. What, she's abandoning me? He confessed, sounding barely believing himself. Now the funds vanished. She's gathering belongings. I closed, eyes absorbed that. The lady he had championed. The lady he had selected over me repeatedly. The lady who had exploited him. Depleted him utterly, and now, finally, when nothing remained, take. She was departing. I emitted quiet chuckle. Well, I suppose now you comprehend the feeling. He winced. I detected it through telephone. Lisa, he murmured. What should I do? I tilted head, pondering. And then gradually, intentionally, I said, you confront repercussions, your decisions. And I disconnected. I believed regardless how much my family exploited me, regardless how often they capitalized my kindness, I would remain forever bound them. That kinship signified something. That allegiance mattered, but standing within my office, observing numerous missed calls from my father, I experienced nothing, no remorse. No responsibility, just a frigid, sharp lucidity. Someone finally ceased rescuing people who didn't merit saving. Rosa was departed. She had packed her luxury luggage, reserved a premium ticket, and vanished instantly, the funds depleted. No apologies, no justifications. Simply gone, and my father. He was ultimately solitary. The realm he believed indestructible was disintegrating. Providers were withdrawing agreements. Financiers were retreating. Franchise locations were underperforming. Because as it transpired, Rosa wasn't simply squandering money. She was pilfering it, and now the liabilities accumulating. It was fitting truly. The man who informed me I indebted him everything was now the one imploring me for assistance. I let him stew few days. Allow quiet linger, let fear permeate his core. Then, ultimately, when prepared, consented to convene. He appeared aged as entered tranquil. Deserted eatery where we agreed rendezvous. Barely recognized. His impeccable suit now creased. Hair disheveled, burdened years' refusal. Poor choices finally overwhelmed. He didn't acknowledge immediately. He simply observed as if seeing initially. You arrived, he uttered. Ultimately seated opposite. Folding arms expressed necessary. He exhaled, nervously stroking face. Lisa, uncertain what to undertake. Remained silent, he gulped. Enterprise, collapsing, financiers withdrawing. We indebted significantly. Rosa deserted penniless. Voice wavered. Require assistance, inclined head. Need my aid, he affirmed. Desperation, evident eyes. Lisa aired. Believed wrong individual. Should have realized earlier. Can rectify, require return. Still possess eateries. Understand management. Collaborating can salvage remains. Let words linger. Let him sense gravity request. Then grin chuckled. Not bitter, not enraged. Pure amusement, because firstly ever. Possess control, he knew. Leaned closer, lowering tone. Desire my return after everything. Shook head, still grinning. Let me recall something, father. Attempted warning, informed Rosa exploiting. Informed enterprise jeopardy. Advised seize authority. Before too tardy smile vanished, you disregarded. He gulped. Lisa. Please, negative. Word impacted like gunshot. His breath hitched, sat. Crossing arms, you supported while Rosa treated insignificantly. You permitted her thievery against me. You allowed her supplant my offspring because she deemed them inadequate. And now you anticipate my rescue. I shook my head. Impossible, unfeasible. His shoulders slumped. Lisa. I possessed nobody else. I gazed at him extensively. Then ultimately, I revealed the reality. You never possessed me. The epiphany struck him profoundly. I observed it within his gaze. The instant he comprehended his loss extended beyond the enterprise. Not solely the finances, but me eternally. I stood straightening my jacket. Am commencing something fresh, innovative. A company lacking your name attached. That doesn't carry your burdens. I smiled icily frigidly. And I'll make it grander than your accomplishments. He looked upwards at me, powerless. So that's it, that's the conclusion. I turned to depart, but before exiting, I hesitated, and without glancing backward, I stated, you face repercussions, your decisions. Then I departed, and this time I never looked back. Update several months subsequently. I stood before my latest eatery, observing the finishing details applied. A fresh name, a new establishment mine. I had succeeded. I had constructed something personally, something untouchable by others. And as I entered the doorway, the past gradually disappearing behind, I realized something. I wasn't simply liberated. I possessed one update. Do I lament it? Absolutely not. Many inquired if I regret going this distance, if I experience remorse, if severing my father was excessive. The concise response, negative. The comprehensive response, I always suspected Rosa's larceny. What I underestimated was the damage's extent, that she had depleted everything. That my father was financially precarious. I believed I was contesting over holiday. Turns out that voyage completely transformed our lives. And honestly, I'm pleased it occurred. That being said, not everything is flawless. My children yearn for their grandfather. And despite everything I do, experience sympathy for him. He lost everything, and for the initial time. I ponder perhaps he didn't deserve losing everyone as well. Am uncertain if reunification achievable. Am unsure if I desire it. Perhaps someday, I'll discover. Meanwhile, I'm relishing my fresh existence. My novel enterprise, my newfound liberty, that Reddit victory.